Okay. Wish this thing had a red light so we'd know it's recording on this side.
Yeah. Well.
Hi!
Hi.
What date is it?
It's May 16th, 2017.
All right. And this is episode 2.
Yes.
Do we have a name for episode 2?
No. We'll come up with something later.
Okay. There's probably a name right here. Sorry, here. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm Jill.
I'm Nick. That's right. We need to introduce ourselves every time, don't we?
Right. Just in case.
And we're Hipstrings.
Hipstrings.
Yes. All right. That thing. Thanks. If this is your first time watching, welcome. If this is your second time watching, thank you. If this is your third time watching, I want to know how. Leave something in the comments, I guess. So, last time we had some segments, and we're going to introduce a new segment, which we call Adventures.
Mm-hmm.
We had some adventures since the last time. We've been having a busy couple of weeks. It's kind of insane.
Yeah.
But Jill went to PlyAway. How was that?
PlyAway was amazing. I got to take a 2-day dyeing class with Natalie Redding and learn the basics of her methodology, which made me want to buy all the fleeces and dye all the fleeces, which was a good thing since it's that time of year. And so I've been doing a lot of that. And then I took a spinning singles class with Amy King from Spunky Eclectic. And so these are not finished, so they're still kind of, but we did all sorts of singles. This is Wensleydale, some thick and thin, which
Fluffy.
is the first thick and thin I'm really happy with. And then doing kind of like an auto wrap with a metallic thread, which you probably cannot see with this.
That's really cool. Oh, that's stretchy too.
Oh yeah. So I still have to finish these, but those were some of my yarns from class.
Are they going to be still that curly when they're finished?
No, they won't. We'll beat the heck out of them, and they'll behave. And it was great. I got to meet up with a whole bunch of people from Sweets Off the Wheel, which is a Ravelry group I'm very active in. And just get to meet people and put faces to names and all that fun stuff. So
Awesome. I had a good time home with the kids. That was a fun vacation, honestly, really. And then we went to Maryland Sheep and Wool, where there were dinosaurs.
Well, there was one dinosaur.
Okay, one. There was
So-
apparently somebody who said that dinosaurs can't knit. And while
And
dinosaurs...
they lied.
And they lied. We discovered this. So we're going to splice in a video somewhere, maybe here. So that was a T-Rex spinning. That was me. And oddly enough, it was not very difficult. If you can spin without looking, you can spin in a T-Rex outfit. If you can't spin without looking, like I couldn't when I started, you'll learn very quickly.
And have an orifice hook handy.
Yes. Well, actually, in the end, I didn't need it. I figured out a great way of threading without having an orifice hook. If you allow your yarn to ply up on itself, it becomes a lot stiffer, and then you can pass it through the hole a lot easier. So that's my little trick that I invented. I don't know. I'm sure somebody else has invented that, but I'm going to take credit for it.
So how much fiber can a T-Rex spin in an afternoon?
It wasn't even a full afternoon, but it was before the T-Rex butt started hurting. But I did spin a full 4 ounces. Actually, this is what I spun. This is the Suit Up, It's a Mess in There from the Crime Scene collection of Homestead Hobbyist. It's a beautiful red. And apparently, this is indeed what T-Rexes spin when they're spinning. It actually turned out really well. I'm kind of impressed with myself, considering the fact that I was doing it blind. And then I went and tried to knit as the T-Rex. And so, if you were at Maryland Sheep and Wool on Saturday, you may have seen a spinning T-Rex, and on Sunday, you may have seen a knitting T-Rex. That was significantly more difficult. So here's the knitting. I went just straight to a knitting from the single, which I'd never done before. I thought it was pretty cool, and it actually ends up with a very nice almost thick and thin result. But I did up to about this point without the T-Rex outfit. Afterwards, I found out that I could not figure out where I was when I was doing a 1-1 rib, and so I just went to a straight garter, and even that was a bit messy because I would drop stitches randomly and then find out a couple rows later, and then because I was just trying to get it done, pick it up in the middle. I'm probably just going to rip that back and then go back to the 1-1 rib and finish up this this T-Rex scarf.
And I think we need to see if T-Rex can weave.
I'm sure T-Rex can do all sorts of fibery things.
Yes.
The support spindling is, I think, the other, the tiny arms. They're
Tiny.
close together. It's just you're very short.
Short makes.
Short, yeah. Yeah. How was your Maryland sheep and wool while I was sitting in a wonderfully warm T-Rex outfit? It was cold.
It was very cool for
Yeah.
Maryland sheep and wool. My first thing was to run to the fleece barn as soon as we got there Saturday morning, because I had a sudden need for fleece because of the Natalie Redding class. So I was on the lookout for long wools. Unfortunately, there weren't many other people looking in that direction, so I picked up 4 border Leicester fleeces.
They're right over there.
No. 2 of them have already been processed.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
One has already died, and one, which is a natural kind of gray-brown, has already been washed and is drying. So there's only 2 left. And then I got a Columbia Corriedale Cross fleece, which is kind of mostly gray. And I'm going to have that sent to the mill to be blended with some alpaca and made into some custom yarn for the shop. So that might be around in like 6 months to a year, because that's what happens. And then
This is why we need to buy our own mill.
yes, I encountered a friend in the fleece barn, and we were looking, and we found a beautiful, fine Romney. So there's been a lot of improving of Romney fleeces in the Mid-Atlantic, so that they're not what I remember Romney being when I started spinning. They're a much finer fleece, and so we picked up a 13-pound black Romney fleece and split it and promptly dropped it off at the mill to be made into roving for spinning later.
And you just grabbed a handful to
Yes, to
show off.
Yes. Remember how lovely it is.
To remember and buy.
So, and then mainly we were hanging out at the Homestead Hobbyist booth, keeping the kids entertained.
Yep.
And some mild chocolate.
Except for the time when I walked around with the kids to look at the sheep, and we've got another video.
Yes.
Sheep!
Sheep.
Sheep!
Really likes sheep.
He does.
Really likes yarn, really likes fiber. And so we had to make multiple rounds of the sheep barns.
When he discovers yarn somewhere in the house that he'd never seen before, he says yarn in much the same way that he says sheep. It is
And he's
awesome.
a fiber stealer, because he needs to snuggle it.
Yeah. Well, don't we all?
Yes.
That's what it's for, right? All right. Anything else? I think we covered our adventures.
Yes.
It was it's good times. Good times. Nothing quite very local. We've got something local coming up, but that's for later in the podcast, so
Yes.
I'll leave that. So now it's warped, twisted, and loopy.
Mm-hmm. So
Do we want to explain that every time too, or?
it's basically what we've been up to,
Yeah.
working on. Yeah. So I'm currently spinning some Palo Verde cotton on one of my, I think, Mistrals, because I've been finishing up projects, and my only simple project is in the car.
Gotta have a project everywhere.
Yeah, I need a cast on a podcast project.
Yeah. We need like
so,
a special place for that too.
Yeah, I'm sure we could figure something out.
Yeah.
So I finished up my Trespassers William that I was working on last time. It still needs to get washed and blocked and ends woven in, and all that done and dried by this weekend so I can show it off. But here's the shawl.
I think it's really nice. This is made with the buoy, right?
Yes, it's made with our buoy DK in cobblestone and Caribbean.
Now hold it up again for a second, because this, even before the blocking, it really comes out with a very nice stitch definition, and I really like how this, I mean, it's just a simple alternating rib pattern here, but it really pops and gives it a lot of nice texture. So.
I really like how elastic the yarn is, and so this is mainly a garter stitch shawl, and it really, like, when you put it on your shoulders, it wants to stay there.
Yeah,
And
it's grippy, you were saying.
It's grippy.
And it's not just self-promotion, we just like gushing about it, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's also self-promotion, so yay, double win.
So, Gab has requested her own Trespassers William.
The same size, or does she want a mini one?
Same size.
Okay.
This would be a really good size for her.
Yeah.
I would like a bigger one,
Awesome.
because I like big shawls. So, speaking of which, what I'm wearing is, it's the Riptide Shawl by Daniel Landes. It is a huge asymmetrical shawl. I just kind of modified the pattern to keep on going. So what it is there's one, the green is a hand-dyed Polworth by me, 2-ply, and then these stripes are 1-ply is an Into the World Bits and Pieces bag plied with the green Polworth, and then I just kept on going and going, and it is
and this is
huge.
huge. I mean,
it's like the size of a sweater. I think it's over a pound of fiber in it.
Okay, great.
And it is one of my favorite things to wear because it is so big.
You've had that for a while too.
Yes, I've had this for a while.
Yeah.
Stephen West complimented me on it at Rhinebeck.
That's like you should have a badge that specifically says that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so speaking of things that have been around for a while, I don't know if you've noticed with just the past podcast and this one, I tend to take a while to work on projects. There was actually one lace sweater in mohair that I was working on and I made for Jill. It took me 2 years to make because I was only knitting it when I was traveling for work and I was actually on the plane. It was great. It's a very airy sweater, and I get to say it's the air sweater because it was made in the air. All right, never mind. So this project is the modern, and I'm reading off my notes here, which I can't read my own handwriting.
Log cabin.
Modern log cabin from Mason Dixon Knitting, and I started off on the pattern. But quickly just decided, you know what, I'm doing this out of scraps, and I'm just going to decide to knit up a side, and then change my color and finish up something else and knit up a side. So I like how it's turning out. I really like that I'm staying with a lot of neutrals, and then putting in these pops of color in random places. And it's fun. I actually think it's fascinating. It's a great way to use up some leftovers, little bits of projects here and there, and things you don't know what to do with that you've spun up and all that. All right.
So, yep.
Awesome.
We've been busy with travel, so
Yeah.
not so much
Not too many new projects.
crafting time. So then into inside the studio. So a lot's happening right now because one, I'm kind of obsessed with dyeing locks. So
I wish we had some of that to show off, but you can
It's
check them
all-
out on our website.
they'll be up later this week. I'm going to try to have a shop update Thursday night. That'd be May 18th, if I can get everything together by then. So there's dyed Border Leicester locks and dyed Cotswold locks. They'll be going up in the shop soon. And then I just got a shipment from the mill today, which had several new blends, and I'm just going to share some of them. So we have 2 new additions to our unicorns. So unicorns are mostly fiber blends that I collaborate with our daughter on, who's 8. And I like doing it because her color sense is completely different from mine, and I would not choose this stuff of my own volition, but she pushes me to explore something I wouldn't normally explore, and it comes out really fantastic.
And it allows you to bond with your inner 8-year-old girl, which
is true.
Guys, you can do that too.
Mm-hmm.
I love these.
Yes. So most of them have been pinks and purples so far, with like Unicorn Fluff and Unicorn Seek Soulmate and Dark Magic. I'm trying to... But we're branching out a little bit. We just introduced Russian Unicorn, which is inspired by the bad lip reading video.
And oddly politically good timing.
Yes.
But
so it is a vermilion unicorn. So it is mostly red with a little bit of yellow and black and some bronze.
As
sparkle.
you've described it, a manly unicorn.
A manly unicorn. And so this time we're adding some blue-ish unicorns. So this is Soulmate to go with Unicorn Seek Soulmate.
It's like a chameleon unicorn. It's found the soulmate, and now it's this color.
Yes, and so it's rainbow sparkle and rose and superfine merino. And I just want to squish. Yeah. And then there is Unicorn Dance Party. Boots and pets.
Boots and pets and boots and pets and boots and pets.
And so we got blues and purples and pinks and purple sparkle. And I forget all the fiber that's in this.
It's not as much sparkle as the other ones have. This one is very
It's a little sedated.
little sedated sparkling.
But
It's too busy partying.
yes, but these will make their way to online soon. And if you come to Waynesburg Sheep and Fiber this weekend, you'll get to see them in person.
Yeah, so that's part of Inside the Studio.
Yes.
We are going to Waynesburg this weekend, and Waynesburg's the festival we've done the longest, right?
Along with Anina and Spin.
Yeah, I think we our first festivals were both of those.
Yeah.
So I think I'll be there on Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll be there on Sunday.
Yep.
I have a new kilt. We were talking about maybe showing it off here, but no. If you want to see it, you come to the show.
So, I like it. I like Waynesburg.
Waynesburg is fun. It's got a good collection of vendors. It's got a wide variety of stuff. There's some great art shows showing off this fiber. There's a Sheep to Shawl, isn't there?
Yes, Saturday morning.
It's almost like a mini Maryland Sheep and Wool, because they have the wide variety of things, just not nearly as much.
Yep, they bring sheepdogs and their shearings.
The best thing are the lampitas. If
Not
you
to be missed.
go for no other reason, I mean, don't even stop by our booth. If you can only do one thing, get the lampitas, because that's probably the main reason we go.
Mm-hmm.
It's by far the best lamb I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
When they stop selling lampitas there, we might stop going.
True.
But yeah, stop by, join us, and
So it's the Greene County Fairgrounds in Waynesburg, Pennsylvania. It's about an hour south of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Come and check it out.
Yeah, it's an hour south, but it's not a terrible drive.
No.
And
What else is coming up? Do we get a break?
I don't know.
Actually.
We get a break.
Mm-hmm.
We might be able to work on some of our creative stuff. We are going to be doing our work for Indie Knit and Spin coming up. We should be sending out vendor packets to people who've gone before if you are watching and interested. If you are interested in Indie Knit and Spin, if you aren't aware, we are actually in charge of that from now on. And so the first Indie Knit and Spin is going to be in the same location it's been, which is in Regent Square. And it's a nice little, it's a micro festival, kind of like a microbrewery, but micro festival.
About 25 to 30 vendors.
Yeah, it's a great place to come in, shop. We're going to try and open up a little bit more space for hanging out if you'd like to sit a while. And we're going to try a new concept. Do you want to talk about the new concept?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, we got one little new thing that we'll bring and see how it works out. We got to see if there's interest in it from the vendors though. Yeah. So
And
that's coming up in November.
But our next show will be the Super Summer Knit Together in Nashville, Tennessee, which I don't remember the date, but the marketplace on Saturday is open to the public as well as attendees.
You know what's some cool movie magic?
What's
The
the movie?
date's right here.
I hope you can actually make that work.
I hope so too.
And then in August, I'll be headed to Clover Hill in Catonsville, Maryland, outside of Baltimore, for a trunk show. And then we've got Shenandoah.
Which that's the same
Valley.
weekend as Otakon, right?
Yes.
Which we used to go to Otakon a bunch. For those of you
And
who
run
like Japanese
things.
animation, yeah, we used to help run Otakon. If you guys like Japanese animation, Otakon's in Washington this year. It's a really fun time. We just have too much stuff going on, otherwise we'd go. But recommend go to Clover Hill and then go to Otakon.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good weekend.
Yeah.
Or the other way around. Clover Hill first.
Yeah. So is that all?
I think that's all. It feels like this went faster than before.
Yeah.
We can
We'll figure out something else to talk about next time.
Well, we can play more video of T-Rex or sheep. Sheep. Thanks a lot for watching.
Thanks.
If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put in the comments thing in YouTube. I don't know if we've checked our comments for the previous one. I think I'm
No.
supposed to get notifications.
Or Ravelry.
Ravelry, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I think that's all the social medias.
Yeah.
There's that Periscope thing that we might do our craft nights
Yeah.
and have something there. That might be fun and offensive. Oh yeah, one thing I was thinking we should do, since there was a couple of people that came to the shop because or they just learned about us and they watched our podcast and then they came to the shop. We should give shout outs to the people that come to the shop.
We should.
There's David Meredith who have made it every single time except for one, and that was
Yeah.
because they had to go to a brew fest.
On the other side of the state.
On the other side of the state, which we forgive them for. But they've been to every single time that our shop has been open. So thank you, David Meredith. Do you remember the names of anybody else who came?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody who's come to the shop, and we will write your name down from now on and give you shout outs in the next podcast. So hopefully we'll remember to do that.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Mm-hmm.
Happy fiber work.
See you in 2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks.